Hi everyone. I'm Mattia, the second presenter for the day. And today, for these 10 minutes, we will go over food waste. What is the impact of food waste on our world nowadays in terms of society, economy, and general impact of food waste, and how AI can help to solve this problem and to reduce food waste as much as possible. So to start, is it working? Yes. Okay. So to start, I would like to go over some numbers of what food waste really looks like and what are its impacts on our Earth. So every year, 1.3 billion tons of food is wasted. This is almost 30% of all the food produced worldwide. So it means every bagel you buy, one is wasted. And this has a lot of impacts. So first of all, it produces, by rotting food, almost 10% of all the CO2 produced worldwide. It is around like 1 out of 4 cars that are on the streets right now. And at the same time, on the economy, it also has a big impact. It's almost $1 trillion of economy wasted every year. And also, it's not a number, but on society, it also has a lot of impact because, of course, there is a lot of people who needs food, but we're also wasting 1/3 of it every year. So, to understand how food waste is produced, I think it's really nice to go over what is the food life cycle look like. There are 5 main steps for the food life cycle we can tackle. From production to consumptions, and the first one is indeed food production, which is where you actually grow the food and raise the animals that actually produce the raw materials you will use to produce your food. Then there is food processing. So once you have your raw materials, you need to transform these raw materials into the final product that you're going to sell to consumers. Then there is food distribution, so you have your product and you need to go from farmers to consumers by maintaining the food fresh, basically, by maintaining the quality of the food. Then food retailing, so you need to sell this food to consumers in the end. So stores need to know how to not overstock the food and how to sell it efficiently. And in the end, you have food consumption. So us and the individuals and restaurants, how we use this food that we have, and how to handle overbuying, expiration dates, etc. So AI can help on all these 5 steps. It can be used as a co-pilot, as Robert was saying before. So basically, AI, what it can do is to, for each of these steps, you have different problems, and every problem has its own type of data. So basically what you can do is use AI to analyze these data and generate certain dashboards that can give insights to experts in their specific fields inside this food life cycle. And they can, out of these insights, take decisions on how to try to tackle certain problems that you can find in each step and how to try to reduce the food waste as much as possible. So now we can go over like each step and try to see what are the problems and how we can try to solve them at least. So the first step was food production. So again, farmers who produce actually their foods in fields. And the main problems in these steps can be summarized into 3 bullet points. So monitoring the soil health. You don't want to exhaust your soil because otherwise you cannot produce as much food as you want, and also like the food that you produce will not have a good quality. Then you need to tackle resources usage, so how to use water, pesticides and other resources you can have at hand to actually grow your food. And also you need to tackle also diseases and pests in order to avoid that the food that you grow will go wasted because of certain illnesses of the crop or other type of diseases. So AI can help with that thanks to a lot of different actually solutions that can be summarized under the name of smart agriculture. Basically from satellite data or drones or even sensors which are set directly on the field. you can create dashboards we can create dashboards for farmers specific to their field, where they can extract insights, as we were saying before, and they can try to predict, for example, what's the best time for planting or harvesting a certain crop, or also determining how many resources are needed. For example, in a field, you can say, these dashboards can say, in this corner of your field, you need to give more water because it's not arriving properly, or similar solutions. And also detects pests and diseases early. So, for example, you can say, okay, these crops are not growing as healthy as they should, so maybe there is something going on. Just go check it out and try to fix that. Then we go to food processing. So we have our food produced, and we want to transform it into the final product. Here there are some main problems that we can find here are, for example, that the same food can have, so some food can have defects, and also that the same food, for example, tomatoes in this case, in this nice GIF, can have different characteristics. So when you harvest it, you might not want all your harvest to end up in the same product. For example, let's say ketchup. You don't want green tomatoes to end up in your ketchup. Before, what farmers or producers were doing is was sorting these products by hand. But what AI can do to helping them is to automatically detect defects on the product on the raw materials that you use to produce your final product, and sort it accordingly with actually high precision and confidence, as you can see here. And this can reduce, of course, food waste in the sense that it increases quality for your products, and also the fact that if you use the wrong materials to produce your product, then it might be also bad for expirations, or you cannot sell the product that you're actually producing. Then we can go to distribution and retailing. So the main problems here are going from farmers to stores by keeping the food as fresh as possible, and also understand how stores should sell and advertise the products that they already have to not waste what they have bought. AI can help in a lot of different ways here. In the first case, it can, for example, look at real-time data from traffic, or understand where are the locations for these stores, and understand how to get from one point to the other in the fastest ways possible, so keeping the food fresh. But also, I think is the most interesting solutions, in my opinion, is again dynamic pricing. They're also Robbe presented before. So basically, stores, what they can do is analyze, for example, what they bought, the expiration dates, and what are customers' behaviors, for instance. And they can come up with pricing solutions that can change the price according to these factors. And therefore, they can, of course, increase the revenue, yes, but also sell more food that they have in their at the back of their store by changing the price accordingly. Then, last but not least, there is food consumptions. So once we buy the foods, restaurants and privates, there are some problems of overbuying, for instance. Or, for example, keep track of what you actually have available at home or in your fridge, for instance. And AI in these cases can help with different kind of solutions, for example, smart fridges, or now it's more and more relevant AI assistants, which can look or keep track of what you bought, or look at what you have in your fridge, and tells you, for example, which recipes you can get out of the ingredients that you have at your disposal. Here there is an example of ChatGPT that's I guess most of you might know, where just by looking at the fridge, it can gives you a nice list of recipes you can do with those ingredients. And these, of course, can reduce food that is being forgotten in the fridge, for instance, so rotting food, or also food waste in general. So this was just scratching the surface of what is food waste and what AI can do. Of course, we could talk about this all day, but generally, like to conclude this presentation, you can say that food system is really complex and has a lot of challenges and problems we need to face, and it also has, of course, a severe impact on a lot of aspects of our lives. And AI can and probably will help addressing this food waste. I suggest to leverage this technology as much as possible to solve as much of this problem as possible.